Okay, I wanted to share a few things with you I got at the thrift store. I wasn't going to show it, but one thing I got is the reason I'm making what I'm going to make today. But to start with, it was my birthday, the end of May sometime, and went into town at my son's home, and they kind of had a birthday get-together for me and cooked supper and had a cake, and my sister was there. And my daughter-in-law made me a loaf of bread and gave me a jar of her homemade cherry jelly or jam. I think it was jam. Anyways, that was delicious. And then my sister, she made this for me. And I don't think just getting a little bit of it is doing it justice. It's so pretty. I love it. And it's going to be warm. This is the underneath. Isn't that pretty? So that's what she made me and gave me for my birthday, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And now I'll show you the few little things that I got at the thrift store. I know I got some other things, but I've already put them up, so evidently they didn't go here in the craft room. Except for one thing. I did get a sheet of just a full-size sheet because I want to make another rag rug, and I'm in the business of collecting the sheets or the material for the rug. And my sister called me the other day, and she did find, I think she found me a black sheet that I was wanting, because I do the primitive colors, and I want the taupe and the black and the off, white and stuff. But I think she found me a black sheet, and then I found a sheet that was it was this color, pretty much this taupish brown. But I've got it in the laundry right now to wash. But it was this color. And then she, of course, I said, got me the black one. And then I got a package of these for $1. It's the tea light candles. Because I see some people that use those on there when they're crafting, and they put the wax on, and they seem to have good luck with that kind of wax. So I got these to try. And then I've got a little pack of white binding. It was 50 cents. And then I picked up this gallon jug of glue. It's not full. It's about up to here, just under half. And that was $1. So I've picked up several of these in just the smaller ones, but I've been going to use the school glue instead of Mod Podge, because Mod Podge is expensive, and I go through a lot. So I'm going to try that. And this next thing is what inspired my next craft. I got these little wheels. I already have 4 of them out. They were 50 cents. They were out of the wood pile that is Hobby Lobby. And they were only $1.49 to start with, but that's $1 off. They were brand new. I opened the package to get the 4 out of there. But that's what inspired my next project. So let's get into that. Now I'm ready to start on the one that I'm going to have the crow on the back. And what I've done is I got this frame. Of course, it's from a thrift store. I took the glass out and left the back. And I wanted this, I've taken 2 pieces of thin board and glued those together. 2 there, 2 here, 2 there, and 2 there. To raise this up, when I put this in there, there's a little more room. Instead of this board being up to here, it's down about 1/4 inch. And that way, when I start putting this in there, let's see, I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about. These fit more down in the picture. Instead of being up here on top, it's down there below now. And these are even with the frame. Where if I had it the other way, all this would be sticking up out of the frame. So I made a little depth to this. That's what I did, the depth. Okay. I'll set that aside. And then on this, I'm going to go and put Mod Podge this down on there. It's some tobacco cloth. I like the color of it. And I thought it would look good with all of it. I'm hoping. I need a long handle. So I'm just going to Mod Podge this down on there. Go halfway and then I'll line it up and do the other half. I have my fan on and everything's drying really fast. But what's the temperature? Oh, it's only 98 out there. We're supposed to get up over 100. And the heat index is supposed to be like 108. I'm hoping they're way off because I feel sorry for my chickens and the cows and the donkeys. Okay. But I didn't want to put too much on there and have it seeping through either. Just want enough on there that it holds. Okay, I'm going to finish this up. And then when I come back, I'll show you what else I'm going to do. Alright, now I am going to use the antiquing wax. It's folk art. I'm trying to figure out which brush to use. I think I'll use a little bit bigger one because I need a small one. And all I have to do is just the front of this and then the wheels. And I think I want to paint those little things there black. Kind of like the hub of a wheel. So I'm going to finish these up, wipe them back a little bit, and then start on the white. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start with the black because I need my frame to be drying also. And I had cut 2 of these for the wagon to make it a little thicker. And I glued both of them together so they can be drying. And this is drying. And now I'm going to start covering my frame with black. And if I don't want to do my sheep, because I don't know, we'll see. So I need this larger one, I guess. I'm going to cover this in black and I will distress it, and I want to cover up the inside where that wood is, kind of in the corners. I'm going to get back in here like this. That's easier. My glue's still a little bit wet, but it's not going anywhere because I used Tight Bond Quick and Thick, or Thick and Quick. But I'll get all the insides here and the front, and I'll let it dry a bit, and then I'll go over it with another coat. Now I have a little tiny bit of True Burgundy by Folk Art, and I'm going to put some of that on my star. I need to have this ready. Because I want to dip it down in cinnamon. Okay. Come on, turn over. Just going to dip it down in there. Now I'm going to set this aside to dry. And then I'm going to go over it with some Mod Podge. And then, while I'm painting with the True Burgundy, I'm going to paint my heart. Now I think I have everything painted but the white. Okay, I'll set this aside now and put everything away and start painting my sheep. I almost forgot my little son. I had the paint out here, but thought I was just going to move on to the white. And I pulled my plate back, and there was my son. Okay, on this, on the outer edge, I'm using Colonel Mustard by Dixie Belle. I have to think about that, because I want to say Colonial, and that's not what it is. I get done with this, I'm just going to wipe my brush off. I don't want to get another brush out. So all I do is wash brushes or pile them in the water and sitting here thinking, I should not be leaving those setting. I know better than that. Okay. I have a wet one here. And now for the center part, I'm going to use Folk Art Vintage Mustard. To me, this looks more like mustard. Well, its name is mustard. They're both mustard, but there's not a whole lot of difference between them. This one is not quite so dark. Okay, now, oh, I got to do the beak on the bird. So I might as well do it while I have that out. There's just a little bit of difference in between them, not a whole lot. Now I'm going to wipe my brush off again. Get my bird. Probably have to go over this again. It'd help if I had my glasses on. Okay, that looks okay. So I'll set that aside. Now I'm going to stop and go wash this brush out. Alright, I glued this together, and I went ahead and glued my wheels on there and put some Mod Podge over the top of my star. And I think I was painting these when I last went off. And now I'm going to use Dixie Belle drop cloth. Seems runny today. Anyways, I'm going to use Dixie Belle drop cloth on my sheep. And then I'm going to sand things back and get my antiquing wax out. Well, I'm telling you what, everything's wanting to eat everything around here. I have a baby bunny, a little tiny baby bunny, that has started staying in my front yard. And I let Kit Kat out at night. She stays out for about 2 hours. But I don't let her out during the day because she acts like she wants to get my chickens. And when they go to bed, I'll let her out. Well, I've quit letting her out in the front yard, and I'm putting her out in the backyard. And it's fenced in, although I think she can really get out if she wants to. She can jump. But I got to give that baby some chance to grow up. And then I'm sitting out there today, and I see the baby bunny. And then I look and I see the Roadrunner. And that Roadrunner will get that baby. It's food. It's small. I mean, it is that small. So I go outside the gate and I chase the Roadrunner away. But the other night I went out a little early to shut the chickens up because we have to wait till it's almost dark to go out and shut them in, because the new ones, they don't go in early. All the old ones are already in on the roost, and these are still out piddling around. Anyways, I thought, well, I'll just go on out and check on them. I'll be dipped, there wasn't a raccoon out there with them. Probably had just shown up. And I happened to have I'm going to have to say pew pew with me. And I could have shot it, but I couldn't. But as far as Lauren knows, I shot it. I shot at it. Well, he asked me if I shot. Yeah, I shot twice. Enough to scare it off. But I didn't tell him that. I don't want the raccoon out there. That's fact. Something, I mean, it's got to give. But I'm not the one to do it. Just not the one to do it. And so the next night, I went out early, or Lauren went out early and sat out there for a while, back away where it wouldn't see him or anything. It didn't show up. Then the next night, was that last? No, it was the night before, I went out, and he was out there again with the chickens. Probably had just shown up. Well, once again, I fired it ran off. And then last night we went out and sat in the pickup, Lauren and me, waiting on it to come again, because it's gonna if we don't do something, it's gonna get a chicken or two or three. It gets in the coop and it's gonna get more than that. If you remember last year, I went out and it was way before dark. And I thought, well, I'll just go in and check on the big chickens. And I got in there, and there was a raccoon in there just fixing to jump up on the roost where my chickens were roosting. And I chased him out, but we ended up catching him in the very next night in the trap that we have, the live trap. But we set it, and so far it's went off twice, but the green's gone, but there's nothing in it. So anyways, everybody they just want to go around eating everything. Can't we all live in harmony and not? No, because then they wouldn't be able to live. Oh well, it's life. It's a cycle of life, I guess. Okay, I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to take my finger sander and go around it and get either my distress ink or my wax, one of the two. Okay, I had to stir up my new bottle of wax because it was shipped to me and it was hot. And it was kind of wet on top, so I've stirred it up, mixed it together, and it's fine now. And I am going to use that on here, and then I've decided to go around it with distress ink. But I'm going to do this to all my pieces and wipe them back, and I'll be back. All right, I have sanded everything. I've got everything laying out. Now I am going to go around the edges with the distressing ink in walnut. I've glued the ear on already, and the little bird here The only thing I done wrong is I wanted to put this down before I put my bird down. And I forgot. Okay, and then I'm going to go around my sun. It just gives it a little depth. And around the little wagon. And then I'm going to start. I've already went around the frame also with the antiquing or walnut stain. Keep saying, I get them all confused. Keep saying antiquing for this. Okay, that looks good. I don't know if I'm going to end up using the star or not. Did I get everything? Here's my little heart. And I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do, so you won't be on here so long watching me do everything. I'm going to glue that down on there. Okay. Scoot this all back, hold that in because I'm going to have to glue that in. But I'm going to glue this here. This right here. Put my sun up here. My heart there. And like I said, I don't know if I'm going to use that star. I kind of wanted it to look like it was under his neck, but I don't know. Oh, that looks cute when I turn it like that. Okay. And then, where is that full sheet? Well, I don't know where it's at, but I had a full sheet of little sayings, and I can't find it now. And I cut this one off, or cut this one out, and I'm thinking about putting it right there. It says carry a friend near. Before I do that, I will go around it too. Okay. And that I'll glue right up there. And that'll be finished. Now, I'm going to start on my other sheep that's going to be on the little wagon. And I took and I drilled a hole right here on the end. I was trying to figure out how to make a handle for it or something. And I decided to get some jute. I drilled that hole. And then I'll put that in there with some hot glue. I drilled it kind of deep so it would, the hot glue go down there in the hole. And then I just found a bead, a wooden bead that I could fit this jute down in. I did have to tie off or put some tape around there to get it fed through the hole. Anyways, I'll probably, I don't know what color I'll paint this, but I wanted to show you how I was going to make the little pull thing for it. So I'll take that out and set it aside right now. And I'm going to start by, I'm going to paint these, or I'm going to put the antiquing wax on the wheels. And I believe that's the only thing I need the antiquing wax for, unless I want to do this in it. Well, I'll go ahead and put the antiquing wax on it, and if I want to change it, I can later. So I'll just start by doing my wheels, and I'm using the folk art. I'll just paint these or cover these, and I'll wipe them back. And when I get finished with these, I'll come back. Now, I'm going to use Dixie Belle Rustic Red for the little wagon. Let's see what that's going to look like. It's kind of a barn red. Well, a little lighter than a barn red. Okay, I'm going to finish painting this. I think this is the only thing that goes this color. well, I'll probably, I don't know if I want to do the heart this color or use this true burgundy that I have. I'll probably just go ahead and paint this color since I have this one out. Oh, you know what? We went out last night. I was telling you about the raccoon, right? Well, last night it was not quite dark yet. And I told Lauren we better go out there and set in case that raccoon comes up because all those chickens are out. So we go out there setting. And it starts to get a little darker. And the chickens all go in and he shuts them up. Well, the smaller young ones that we bought and I hatched. And he shuts them up. And I told him, I was sitting in the pickup, and I said, you better go over and get that grill. We had a grill off like a screen door or something. And I had put it on one night before because the automatic chicken door on the big chickens hadn't shut yet. And I didn't want to go off and leave it open and that raccoon get in there with the big chickens. So I said, get that grill, and then there's that big cement brick, and put that in front of the opening that goes into there to keep that coon from getting in there if he comes up and the automatic door's not shut yet. So he goes and gets the grill. I had it sitting right there. And he starts to put it down. I see him stop. And he comes running and he says, give me the pew. So I hand that to him and I said, why? What is it? Because normally, if it's a snake, he'll say, go get the snake catchers. Well, I think he was just kind of excited. He didn't want it to get away. And I asked him what it is. He goes, well, it's a snake, and I can't tell what it is right now. But I think it's a rattler. And it was right there where he was putting at the entrance where the chickens were, where he goes into the caged area. And it's right where he was going to put the grill and the rock. And he says, no, it's sleeping, I think. He said, run up and get the snake catcher. So I ran up there and I got him, and he got the snake, and it was another rattlesnake. So I said, I'm done. I'm not going out here. I'll walk around in shorts, flip-flops. Nope. You're going to have to go where there's weeds and where there's weeds, because there's a lot of weeds, because he has so much stuff sitting around that we can't mow in certain areas or we tear up the lawnmower. Anyways, I'm not going out there. I mean, I'll go out there and I'll go where I can see, but I am not going to go where I can't see, because that's just, I'm done with these rattlesnakes all the time. Okay, I have that done. Okay, I've decided to go ahead. I painted the little heart, and I'm going to put some of this on the star. Coat it good. And I'm going to drop it down on my cinnamon. Now, that way I'll have this taken care of. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use the Dixie Belle drop cloth on my sheep, and the black on the ear and black on the face. And I think everything will be painted. And then when I finish all that, I'll come back and we'll put it all together. All my pieces are dry now, and I'm just going to go over everything with my finger sander and distress on everything. But I don't want you have to sit here and watch me do all this. But I need to let you know that I was doing it. Now, I am going to take the walnut stain and, of course, go around all of it. And if you notice, I went and made an extra ear because this is going to be setting. It's going to be doubled. I done that for more strength when I put it on this. And I probably should have made a third one, but I didn't. I made two of them. Anyways, that's going to be in there like that, on there like that. I'm going to have to glue it on. But I needed another ear, so I went and made another ear. And then on the, where I had these little round things, the little circles I cut out, where I said like the hubs on there, I decided just to use, what do you call these things? Anyways, I'm going to use those. I'll glue that down in there like that. I tried to cover them with my Rub and Buff black, and it usually covers really well, but it was kind of, it seemed like it was dry and it was clumping all over. So I covered each one of them the best I could. I let them dry, and then I went over them with black paint, which made the black paint adhere to a lot better to that slick surface. So I'll glue those in there when I'm ready to put everything together. But right now, I'm just going to go around all my edges. And then after I get this done, I'm going to let this dry a little bit, this ink. And I'm going to go back over it with some clear wax. And that's all I'm going to, with that. So I won't do that, bore you with that on here. Just any clear wax will do. And then should be ready to put it together. Okay, I am now starting to put this together. I'm having to cut just a little bit off of this clip here. And I started to put them on with the hot glue, but it just wasn't sticking well enough. So I am going to put them on with the Beacon Quick Grip, because it will hold it for sure. We're going to put this, I'm going to put some glue down in the center of this. And then I'm going to twirl that in there. And it's about that, I'd say about that far, about that deep. And I want to cut that blue piece of tape off. Okay, that's on there good and tight. And then I'm going to stick a little bit of glue right here and pull this bead up on that. And now, and I have marked a place. I put it on there and centered it the best I could, and then I marked it with pencil. So when I put the glue down, I know where to put it instead of trying to adjust it. But I need to get the wheels on, so I'm going to take this little can lid and put that on there so it'll hold it up just enough off the ground where I want it. And I am going to put that on with this too. Got too much. Okay, I gotta get the lid back on that. It's oozing out of there. Okay, right there. It won't take it too long to hold. I'll just turn it on around and put these others on. Okay, those all look pretty even. kind of hold them tight just a little bit. And see, that lid held it up enough to get these on there. Now, it's time for the little sheep. Okay, I will just hold that there for just a bit. Okay, now I'm going to let that dry good because it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to fall over or anything. This stuff is quick. And I've tried to link it before off of Amazon where I got it the first time, and it has not been there. But I looked a while ago and it's there. So I'll leave a link to this quick grip, this Beacon quick grip. I'll leave it link to it below because it's now back in stock. Alright, that's finished. I'm going to let that dry. I can't tip it up and show you or anything, but I will here in just a bit.